Yeah, thank you. Right. So just give me a second as I'm just hosting people. Hi, ladies. Hi, everyone. Ladies and gentlemen, we welcome you. Happy International Women's Day. Hello, everyone. Exciting moments where we just gonna hear all these beautiful ladies sing you happy Sunday.
Amen.
I will not waste much of your time. I am very, very particular with time. This is one of the challenge of the biases that we have to challenge, breaking the biases where we have to challenge ourselves and say, especially, for those who are from African background, where we used to use the sun to say, oh, if the sun is there, so I can that. So now we are losing the clock, guys. We are challenging that bias and say, we don't in that moment again. So once again, I just want to welcome everyone that have joined us and those who are joining us in the future. Everyone, you are most welcome. We are celebrating you and your families. So when you are celebrating women, we are also celebrating their families because that's what Iwata does.
Amen.
It celebrates everyone, it appreciates everyone, it accommodates everyone, it loves everyone, it just appreciates everyone. So your presence is not by accident or by coincidence, but it's there to edify one person. So I welcome you to our session today where we are celebrating International Women's Day, and we are challenging the narratives, we are challenging the biases. We are just gonna talk about things that even sometimes we don't want to talk about it. Please, 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 to all our speakers, I'm just going to be very particular. It's 10 minutes each per person. And if you exceed too much, I'm going to mute you, and then you know that I'm serious on business because I'm challenging the narratives. So I'll be timing you seriously. That is 10 minutes. Everyone who is going to contribute tonight also, I expect you straight to the point because we want to be women of valor, women of etiquette, women of tenacity. So I'm going to mute you if you are exceeding the time so that at least everybody could benefit very well. I'm so humbly going to do this in a very discreet way. So do not be surprised when you can't speak anymore. We can't hear you anymore because you have gone over the boundaries. We are breaking the biases. So we have to start with us and we have to lead by example. Let's break the biases today, how we perceive other people, how we see other people, how we value other people, how we make our choices, and how we pick our villages. We all know in African countries, we say, you know what, it's beneficial. A child is raised by a village, and that same village can also destroy a child. So we are choosing to challenge, the narratives that are not impacting us in a better way. It's time to confront every prejudice that each and everyone have got. It's time to challenge, the mentality, the negative perspectives that we have got upon other people. It's time for you and me to just look into ourselves and then challenge our own prejudice, because sometimes you can only focus with other people, but what are you contributing to the community as well as a woman? As we are celebrating International Women's Day, what are you contributing? What are you impacting? What are you changing? Be the change that you want to see in the world. So we are barriers by speaking up. We are not keeping silent anymore. We always talk about in African countries. We have heard, I think even in English countries, we might hear, we have got our friends who are British here. They will be able to tell us as well that is silence golden. We are going to challenge that, and we challenge what's considered the norm. We still is suppressing and oppressing other people. We are challenging the be submissive when there is no love. So love me, then I can be submissive. So we are challenging all those biases. Refusing change is bias. if you are refusing to change, you are still telling me, oh, that's how I grow up, that's how I'm born. No, we are choosing to challenge, refusing change. We are allowing the society to detect how we should live. I remember one of my lady, I don't want to preempt what she said. For example, I'm wearing purple and someone is saying, why are you wearing purple? Why can't you wear blue? Who said who? So all those kind of things, we want to challenge, because you should not detect how I live. Change your own perspective first. We have to say no to some things that has put us in a corner. Community detecting our lives, feeling so sorry for ourselves and thinking, what will the community say? We are no more living in the community for the community to detect what they have to say to us. We are seeking knowledge in difficult situations, and we have to allow ourselves to be knowledgeable. We are saying, challenging the biases of saying, oh, I just don't know anything and I don't know what to say and I don't know what to do. Excuse me. Here in UK, we've got all the opportunity. We are challenging that today. We are saying, you must do something. I'm loving this. We have to choose to challenge the choices that we make that are impacting yourself and also impacting your generation. We are tired of people wanting to break generational cases all the time by just not simply talking. So we are challenging those things as well. We are challenging the stumbling blocks that we have put under the carpet, and we are just looking at them and we are saying, oh, I don't want to go back to that. Or when you want to cry, you go back to that. No, we are saying, no, you don't deserve to be crying. You deserve to be happy. We are challenging how many I can't you have said. Oh, I can't do this. Oh, this one is for this person. No, you can. So today we'll be challenging that, because you are capable of doing something and you're going to change. You're going to be the woman that will change, that will turn around the situation. You're going to be the game changer of the generation. So we are challenging that. We are challenging every justification of poor health. You're justifying eating McDonald's every day because you're tired. I blame myself because today I eat McDonald's. So I'm going to be challenged as well that we want to live a healthy life. We don't want to blame the environment. We don't want to blame the UK. We don't want to blame any other person. We have to blame ourselves. We have to take responsibility of ourselves. And what am I saying today? Take action of yourself, your happiness, your peace and joy. Even your love is a choice. If you can't love yourself, you can love somebody. It's Ethiwale tonight that will be hosting you, all of you. And I want to welcome and thank you for joining us. We appreciate you so much. Each time I see you guys, I see you coming on the platform, I'm always feeling blessed, because I know I'm not learning alone, but we are learning all together. And we together, we're going to grow up and make our community healthy. I know when you started this during the pandemic of COVID-19, there are so many things that has impacted in my life. And today I'm celebrating because so many things I did not know. And every time I'm learning new things. Without further wasting much time, because I can speak to for England, and I'm going to challenge myself as well that I need to limit my speaking, because I'm going to challenge my speakers to be 10 minutes maxi. Thank you very much. So I'm going to start with Catherine Taylor, our speaker tonight. I've known this beautiful woman. She is British Mancunian that has been challenging me to speak Mancunian way and stop thinking that I'm still in Africa. So Catherine Taylor has been one of inspirational supporter, inspirational speaker. She has spoken so many times, and I'm grateful that tonight she'll be speaking to us about the arising generation, arising minority. Catherine Taylor, if you come to the podium, we welcome with open arms, and we love to hear from you. Thank you tonight.
So I need to share the screen.
Okay, yeah, you can share, because I think you are one of the co-hosts. Are you okay?
No, it's not working. What I'll do, I'll read from my PowerPoint.
All right.
I'll just have to read it out.
All right.
Okay. Hello, everybody. Welcome This is International Women's Day. Well, it was on Tuesday, the 8th of March. So it's on the 8th of March every year. The colours are, just one second, are purple, green and white. And the purple signifies justice and dignity. The green symbolises hope and the white symbolises purity. About International Women's Day. I thought I'd go into the background just to remind us all what it's about and its origins. So International Women's Day is a global day celebrating the social, economic, cultural and political achievements of women. The day also marks a call to action for accelerating gender parity. Significant activities witnessed worldwide as groups come together to celebrate women's achievements or rally for women's equality. The theme for 2022 is Gender Equality Today for a Sustainable Tomorrow. And this year's campaign is represented by the Break the Bias hashtag. Sorry, I don't have the hashtag symbol on my keyboard, but you know what I mean. Break the Bias hashtag, and calls on people to work towards a world that is equitable, inclusive, and free from bias and discrimination, so the playing field is leveled for women moving forward. So if we just pop back into history, just to contextualize the whole driving force of this particular campaign. The International Women's Day has been observed since the early 1900s. And one of the indicators of this growing movement was in 1908, great unrest and critical debate was occurring amongst women. 15,000 women marched through New York City demanding shorter hours, better pay and voting rights. And then in 1910, a second international conference of working women was held in Copenhagen. And a woman called Clara Zetkin, who was then the leader of the Women's Office for the Social Democratic Party in Germany, tabled the idea of an International Women's Day. It was greeted with unanimous approval, and International Women's Day was the result. And then in 1975, a massive breakthrough occurred. International Women's Day was celebrated for the first time by the United Nations. In 2001, internationalwomensday.com platform was launched with specific purpose of re-energizing the day, a focus which continues to this day, celebrating and making visible the achievement of women while continuing the call for accelerating gender parity. Gender parity is a statistical measure that provides a numerical value of women, female to male or girl to boy ratio for indicators such as income or education. For example, if there are equal numbers of girls and boys who completed primary education in a specific country, the gender parity ratio for that indicator is 1. And now we're just going to talk, I mean, there are so many women who have changed the world and changed things for the better for the position of women. So I can only do so many, but I found this website with 10 trailblazers, and some of them you may have heard of and some of them you haven't, but they're interesting. Sojourner Truth, a former slave who advocated for equality and fair treatment for both African Americans and women. Marsha P. Johnson, a revolutionary LGBTQ rights activist and transgender pioneer. Simone de Beauvoir, a French politician and writer that significantly influenced feminist existentialism and feminist theory. Shirley Chisholm, first Black woman in Congress and the first woman to run for the Democratic Party's presidential nomination. Betty Reed Soskin, civil rights advocate and longest serving National Park Ranger. Patsy Mink, first Asian American elected to Congress and instrumental in preventing gender discrimination in education. Dolores Huerta, I think that's how you pronounce it. Dolores created the Agricultural Workers Association in 1960 and co-founded what would become the United Farm Workers. Lily Ledbetter, equal pay for equal work activist and pioneer, and namesake for the Ledbetter Fair Pay Restoration Act. Only two more. Billie Jean King, I'm sure everyone's heard of her. Numerous Grand Slam champion in tennis, social justice activist, and women's equality champion. Malala Yousafzai, I'm not sure if I pronounced that correctly, the youngest Nobel Prize laureate and advocate for equal education rights for girls. And then I thought, we often look at British women and American women in particular, and there's been a few there that I've just mentioned, but I thought I'd put the spotlight on Africa, and I found 3 gems. And now please bear with me as I try to pronounce this. Forgive me if I get it wrong. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala is a Nigerian-American economist, fair trade leader, environment sustainability advocate, human welfare champion, sustainable finance maven, and global development expert. And listen to this one. She's amazing. Since March 2021, she's been serving as Director General of the World Trade Organization. She's the first woman and the first African to serve as Director General. What an achievement for that woman. That's just incredible. And then we've got Samia Suluhu Hassan. I hope that was correct. Samia Suluhu Hassan is a Tanzanian politician who is serving as the 6th and current president of Tanzania. She is a member of the ruling Social Democratic Chama cha Mapinduzi party. So wow, a female president, that's just awesome. We've only ever had one in this country, and that's Margaret Thatcher, as we all know. And then this woman, Mo Abudu. She's known as, well, her name is Mosunmola Abudu, but she's also known as Mo Abudu. And she's a Nigerian media mogul, philanthropist, and former human resources management consultant. She has been described by Forbes, and that's a newspaper that does, what do they do? What's the word I'm looking for? Anyway, I'll come back to that. Described by Forbes as Africa's most successful woman and rated as one of the 25 most powerful women in global television by The Hollywood Reporter. That's a newspaper. So wow, 3 incredible women there. And now there's these international women that we're all in awe of, that they've just achieved so much. But there's a lot going down on grassroots level as well. And I could name so many people just in Manchester who are just making a huge difference and a huge impact on the community and a huge difference for the place of women in society. And even just on this platform, Grace, Ruth, Comfy. So let's go with somebody who's right underneath our nose. And that is, whoops, Epi, Miranda Odunlami. Yes, this is a picture of Epi with a lovely husband. And she started Inspirational Women to Action. Epi was born in 1974 and is 47 years old. She is a diagnostic radiographer. She has 2 grown-up children and 2 grandchildren. She came to Britain as a frightened teenager dealing with culture shock. She was a victim of domestic abuse, and as a result of that, she was inspired to set up Inspirational Women to Action to support women who are on the receiving end of domestic violence or domestic abuse. It started very small with her sister Benita, and then the fellowship grew and grew. Then in 2017, it was registered officially as a charity in the UK. And Epi does things that no one knows about. A friend of mine was going through some domestic abuse issues. And I won't say where she's from to protect her anonymity. I've already put it, it's in York. But what we did, we just went to see her, and we went out for a meal. And this particular lady has posted on LinkedIn how impressed she was by the visit, and you know, made her feel loved and valued. And this is the kind of thing that Epi does that nobody knows about. She doesn't advertise it. And she is always smiling, and she's an inspiration to me from the day I met her. She's just an amazing woman and an inspiration to us all. So thank you, Epi, for this platform that you put on every single week without fail. And we just appreciate and love you. And I'll just leave it there. Thank you. Oh, just 1 second. There's plenty of organisations, if you wanted to get more involved actively in the community, or to receive help. There's Refuge, and that's for women and children against domestic abuse. Women's Equality Party, you could get involved with that. The National Organisation for Women, you sign up on the website. The National Alliance for Women's Organisations, you can sign up by using their email. So there's plenty to get involved with if you feel really fired up and inspired to get more involved in the community. There's plenty of organisations out there. This is just a sprinkling. So I just wish you all well, and thanks for listening. Thank you.
Wow, I'm speechless. Oh, you know, sometimes you're just caught unaware and you just think, oh God, glory be to you. For those who are Christians, I think you understand what I mean. For those who are not, I apologize. I don't know how to explain it in a better way, but all the glory to God, because this is so touching. And thank you so much, Catherine, for telling us some of the tycoons in Africa that I don't even know. So probably if you've got a chance, if you can just type it for us, or just put it, or you can share with me and I can share with other people that really like to know more about it. I'm so grateful for that. Kathleen Taylor, you've embraced us, and I always call her, she's white outside but black inside, because we really have that relationship. And I'm so grateful that she also embraced me. Personally, I had to challenge the biases of thinking, oh, probably white culture, excuse me, my language, if anyone takes offense. I used to think, oh my God, white people, I was so scared with white people. But meeting Catherine, I've realized that we can break the barriers. We don't have to put a line on each other and fail to cross to each other. We fail to talk to each other. We fail to understand each other because we don't cross that line. We don't, you know, interact. We don't talk to people. You know, many people, they fear each other. Why? Because they don't talk to each other. They don't communicate with each other. So Catherine, thank you very much for that. You have taught us something personally that I did not know, that in Africa, we've got those tycoons. You see, because our mind, sometimes we are just shallowing on that group and we just focus on the negativity. That's why we are saying today, we are challenging those narratives. We are challenging the biases. We have to, you know, boost ourselves and be desiring to know more. I want to know more, and I'm not gonna lose you, Catherine. Thank you very much for that powerful talk. And I remember when Catherine joined Iwata, she used to say, oh, I can't talk, oh, I'm scared, oh, I'm this, but I'm so glad that she challenged that narrative. Now she can talk to England. How can you walk with Epi and not talk? That would be impossible. Thank you very much, Catherine, once again. I'm not going to waste much time because, our time is fast tracking. I'm just going to invite this beautiful woman that I've known. Do you know, I have to say this before this woman comes on the platform. When I was, going, in this COVID time, sometimes to do this program, to plan it, it's not easy. But this woman comes like a fiery dart and she said, what's happening next week? Are we doing something? And I'll say, oh, no. She'll say, no, we have to do something. Epi, you don't know what Iwata is doing. And I'm thinking, really? Is it doing anything? And she kept on encouraging me. And this woman has never failed even one day. She's most of the time, she always even log in first. This woman, she's always looking forward, no matter where she is going. She will join in even the train, and she will pray for that network to always work. Honestly to God, tonight, as I'm celebrating International Women's Day, Ruth Mera, I would love to appreciate you. In front of everybody, I'm not here to embarrass you, but you don't know how much you've really impacted my life, how much you've really contributed to my life. I am so grateful beyond measure, because during COVID, it was also a hard time when I was even scared to go to work, when I was scared with so many things, but you kept on pressing the button and see the potential, and they are always encouraging. And even before we come to this platform, I remember early morning, you were saying you are so excited. Yesterday, I've been to other women programs, and I was just feeling like, oh my God, it's like I'm somehow a little bit lost, because, you are so used to see women who speaks the reality of lives. So Ruth Mera, I welcome with you open arms, and with a grateful heart, I'll give you the platform. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Epi. Thank you, and happy International Women's Day. Can we all do the break the bias sign so we can capture the screen? Any pose you can do, just break the bias, capture the screen, Sister Epi. Capture the screen while everyone is breaking the bias.
Sorry, 1 minute, let me capture this. Yeah. Okay, so I'll take a picture then. When everyone is breaking the biases. 1 minute, please, don't rush. Don't rush, ladies, don't rush. Oh, capture the screen. Ooh, everybody, yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah, break the bias.
Breaking the bias. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much. Thank you for that wonderful introduction, and thank you so much for the opportunity to grow together, really. I appreciate you as well, as a woman, as a friend, as a sister. And, it's good that, when we meet people, we make an influence and we touch somebody's life. So I'm glad to hear that, even to hear while I'm alive, not when I'm in a coffin. So I appreciate you sending so much love back. So this afternoon, before I run out of my time, because like Epi, I can talk for England as well, but, my 10 minutes starts now, not when we're doing the capture, yeah? So, yeah, thank you, Catherine, as well, for a wonderful presentation and just taking us through the history and even the colors. I like it. I mean, I love the significance of colors. So when you were saying that, I enjoyed that. And this afternoon, I just want to share quickly about knowing our worth and just realizing that saying no is a full sentence. One of the theme for the 2022 International Women's Day, as we all know, is break the bias. But one of the things that really captured my attention is when it says a world where difference is valued and celebrated. Collectively, we can all break the bias. It starts with you, it starts with me. Let us make noise about the things that matter to us and the changes we want to see. Individually, we are all responsible for our own thoughts and actions all day, every day. So that is why it is important to start talking about knowing our worth. Because when you talk about a world where a difference is valued and celebrated, most of us don't know our worth. Most of us are even shying away to make our stand because we just want to fit in. And then I keep asking myself, we have been empowered during the pandemic, more especially that we're home most of the time. My question is, what legacy are we going to leave behind? Are we going to leave a legacy of fear or influence? Influence only comes from knowing our worth. So how do we know our worth? We are very powerful, provided we know how powerful we are. So most of us don't know how powerful we are because we are trying to live in somebody's shoes. We are trying to to follow somebody's footsteps instead of just knowing our worth. There will always be someone who can't see our worth, but let me beg you, women, in this International Women's Day celebration, let that someone not be yourself, because sometimes we are our own worst enemies. Self-doubt, self-criticism, we start with us. So when someone adds it, brings their own, it just fuels the fire that is already there. My favorite example that I always talk about, probably most of you have heard me talk about it before, is when I talk about suitcase and packing, because I love traveling. So when packing, we pack a lot. I'm not a light traveler. I find myself packing all sorts, things that I don't even need. I find them packing just in case, just in case. And then you end up paying a lot. I end up paying a lot of excess at the airport because I end up with more than necessary. Why do I like that example? It's the same way we have done with our lives, because we have filled our lives with so much junk that we have forgotten our worth. We don't know our self-worth anymore. So because of time, I just want to quickly break into something about the first steps into knowing our worth. In case we don't know, in case some of us are feeling guilty, instead of some of us think like, oh, should I or should I not? The first step, I did it myself. For the same example I've given about the suitcases, I realized that I filled my life with so much. And then where was my worth? My worth was in the wrong places because I felt like I had to fit in. I felt like I had to be in certain places for me to feel worth, but it's not like that. So walking away will do you life, you will do your life good. Walking away is the first step. Never forget how unique you are as a woman. Walk away from people who put you down and surround yourself with people who lift you up. You know, perfect example. Without blowing my own trumpet, you heard it yourself, how AP was saying, you know, Ruth did this, Ruth did that. Who are you touching? Whose lives are you touching? Whose lives am I touching? You know, that is so important. It's all about surrounding yourself with the right people, because most of us are dreaming, but our dreams have just gone to sleep because we are surrounding ourselves with the wrong people. Again, walk away from arguments that lead you to anger. You must find courage to leave the table if respect is no longer being served. Become more aware of what's really worth your energy. You have to walk away from the practice of pleasing people. Ouch, ouch, ouch. Most of us suffer from that syndrome, pleasing people. Why do we like pleasing people? Because our self-worth is held up, is tied up to others. We always feel like, you know, we are worth it if we have that belonging. We have not figured out our boundaries. That's why we like pleasing people. We avoid conflict. It's also a habit that is learned from childhood, either because we were brought up by people who were also people pleasers. Again, I said it in order to fit in. We don't value our own needs. That's why we like pleasing people. Lack of confidence, the need of approval, really, just because we want to feel accepted. And then there's another one, we want something in return. Poor self-esteem. The one that wants something in return because we don't really like to do something, but we want to please people just in case, oh, what if I need help tomorrow? Then I also just need to please them because I may need a favor tomorrow. So again, when we say practicing, stop practicing the thing of pleasing people is now, you never see your worth if you do that because you always see your worth in other people. Your value doesn't decrease based on someone's inability to see your worth. If you find yourself constantly trying to prove your worth to someone, you have already forgotten your value. And then you have to walk away from judgmental people. Most of the time, judgmental people, they don't know the struggles you've been through. They don't know what you've been through. They don't know why you make the decisions that you're making. I know Sis Epi was sharing earlier about, you know, how people just try to describe what you're doing, why you should do this or why you should do that. For me, red gives me confidence. Believe it or not, the whole of this week I've been wearing red from last Saturday, I think even from last Friday, red. For some reason, red, because I'm the fierce lady, red gives me confidence. Red gives me the fire. Even when I feel like, you know, I feel like a bit deflated, when I put on red, I feel so energized. And I went into this meeting, again, International Women's Day. I was asked to be a speaker there. Powerful program, very nice program. And as soon as I finished, people were commenting on the things and all that. One lady just walked to me and was like, oh, Why did you have to wear red? Red from top to bottom. You should have blended it with white or with this or with that. And I just looked at her as like, out of all the session we did, the beautiful afternoon we've had, the only thing that has bothered you is my red top to bottom red. Because I'm a fashion this and fashion that. But then, when you know your self-worth, you don't even apologize. I just said to her politely, not in a rude way, I just said, I wanted to dress this way, and this is what makes me feel good. And she went. And I'm like, how many of us are able to do that? When you know your worth, you don't allow people to put you down, because you know why you're doing what you're doing. Again, we have to walk away from our mistakes and fears. We've all made mistakes, but our mistakes don't define us. Our fears, they do serve as barriers, because we always have that fear like, oh, I can't do this, oh, I can't do that. What will people think? What will people say? That fear is stopping us from becoming the best. So if we're talking about breaking the bias in this year, International Women's Day, as I was talking earlier, if we are going to have influence, it has to start with, these things where fear has to go. We have to get rid of the barriers. Self-worth has to come in. You have to know what we want. Then the more we walk away from the things that poison our soul, the healthier our life will be. I feel like I'm rushing through. So I just want to read this. Walking away is not pride. It is self-respect. Don't expect to see positive changes in your life if you surround yourself with negative people. Don't give part-time people a full-time position in your life. Know your value and what you have to offer, and never settle for anything less than what you deserve. So I'm just going to round it up quickly. This feels like a marathon. So in order for you to have your self-worth in breaking the bias and maintaining your worth, one of the key things, and this is my favorite, is that we have to create boundaries. The only people who get upset about setting boundaries are the ones who always benefit from you having no boundaries, because they benefit from it. So once you create boundaries, then they become uncomfortable. So effects of unhealthy boundaries that affect our self-worth. We complain about how others mistreat us. We don't have time for ourselves because we are all over the place. Every village meeting, we are there. Every baby shower, we are there. Every bridal shower, we are there. Every whatever, we are there. And then we are complaining. And then we give people several chances to hurt us. We become dependent on other people to feel valued and worth. Sense of belonging, which is a false one, because we kind of feel like we are important. We are everywhere. Everyone knows us. Everyone knows Ruth. Everyone knows AP. But it's the false sense of belonging. And then we tell people more than what we are comfortable to share, because we just want to overload and make people feel like they have to accept us. We again feel resentful because we are so tired and we are so overwhelmed. We allow others to speak for ourselves instead of us speaking for us. And we become frustrated by others whenever they request our support, because we have not learned our self-worth. So as in my introduction, I said, know your worth. And saying no is a full sentence. The reason why I shared all this is because we kind of feel like we need to do all these things in order to feel the sense of belonging, in order for us to have our self-worth. But the reality is our self-worth only comes from when we create boundaries. And saying no is a full sentence. You don't need to offer people a whole explanation. When you say no, all these things that I've described defines you. No, I cannot handle this. No, I cannot do this. No, you cannot speak to me in that way. No, I mean, when you're talking about breaking the bias, it's so many things. Like in one of the meetings I attended during the week, we're talking about the systems in the NHS, how people in the minority, the ethnic minority feel treated. And some of us are not even comfortable because we don't know our worth. We don't have the confidence. We don't even have the courage to challenge these people to say, no, yes, you are a doctor. I've come to you as a GP. You cannot speak to me like this. Yes, you are the receptionist that we complained about. Honestly, people from different areas of the West, the way they started talking about this receptionist at the GP, you thought they were all one woman. But because we don't know our worth, we don't have the confidence, we don't know how to challenge this. So in order to break the bias, we need to be well informed, to know where we stand, to know that as a human being, I need to be valued. As a human being, I am worth. So I cannot allow certain things to be happening in my life. Again, things that, just describe our self-worth is, knowing you, I mean, I've talked about boundaries, even how you live. You are the author of your life. You can decide how you want to live as Christians, as long as you know that that glorifies God, not living carelessly. But you don't have to offer anyone an apology. You decide what you want. Even importantly, your health. We've talked about so many things on this platform, and your health should really matter. Let's not get carried away by just thinking, oh, because we've come up with, most of us from Africa, we've come up with that mentality, like we only go and see a doctor when things are wrong. We are breaking that narrative. We are breaking the bias to say, look, I'm going to take care of my health, and even say, I'm going to see a doctor just for a checkup to check if everything is okay. Because most of the time we realize when things have already gone out of hand. So knowing your worth is valuing your health. That's what AP said, your health is your wealth. Again, knowing your worth when it comes to relationship from all angles, friendship, how you're treated at work, all those things. As I was giving an example of the suitcase, know what you're what you're putting in the basket. I mean, in your suitcase, to make sure that you are going to live a meaningful and purposeful life in maintaining your worth, in maintaining your boundaries. So once again, happy International Women's Day, and love you, ladies. I celebrate each one of you. I can see my sisters, so many of you that you have joined. I really celebrate you, and let's keep breaking the bias. Let's be honest with each other, and let's just continue to do what we were called to do. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Ruth. Thank you very much. Just that sanctic, speaking. I appreciate, straight to the point. Boom, 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 boom. I'm so excited. Oh my God. You've said so many valuable, fierce lady. You said so many valuable points that I was just thinking that, oh my God, is so true. I struggled to say no. Honestly, to God, I struggled for a long time. But now my no is my no. It's not a no, yes. My no is a no. What I can do, I can do. What I can't, I'll just be honestly saying I cannot do. My God, when it comes to explaining the reasons why I didn't do that and that, oh God, I'll go there, I'll go to Zimbabwe, I'll come back, trying to explain it so that somebody will understand me. But I'm telling you, we don't need that hassle. Oh my God, I'm not gonna, pour sand on what Ruth has already said, because I think everyone has heard. Otherwise, I will take time. And we're not allowing time wasters, because we are challenging that narrative. We want time for people to ask questions at the end of the session and contribute something. Without wasting much time again, I'm just gonna introduce this very beautiful girl that the minute I knew that she was conceived, I knew that I've got an Iron Lady, Mrs. VIP, very important person, I will bless her in my tummy. I'll appreciate God for her. I'll tell God I want her to be a girl. And you know what? Those who believe in God, when you ask God, sometimes you say no, sometimes you say yes, sometimes you say wait, sometimes he just give you what you want. And I want to thank God that when I conceived her, like Ruth had mentioned, I think Ruth or Kat mentioned a bit of my story of domestic violence. I remember being told even to abort her. I didn't tell her this, but the owner of the child was telling me to abort. But you know what? When you know what you are carrying, you hold that child and you say, no, I'm not aborting my legend. So I'm not wasting much time. I'm going to introduce this. I can't even describe it. She is indescribable. Comfort, Joylene, my princess. Can you come on the platform? Thank you.
Thank you very much for that wonderful introduction, Sister Effie, my mother. So like I've already been introduced, I'll just quickly give you a brief rundown. I'm Comfort. I'm the daughter of the CEO of this Inspirational Women to Action. And I'm currently a student I do radiotherapy in BCU, which some of you may know about. And I'm now in my second year. So the topic I'm going to be doing is all about feeling free to be yourself, celebrating each other. I'm just going to skip past my introduction because I think a few of you may know of me anyways, but so I don't talk too long, because if you know, like mother, like daughter, we know how to talk. So as I was introduced, I'm a VIP, and that's a self-proclaimed VIP. I don't need a title like the Queen. You don't need to Google me to find out what I am. I'm here in the flesh, VIP. So, like I said, the topic today is feeling free to be yourself and celebrating each other. So firstly, let's talk about feeling free to be ourselves, why it's important, etc. Now, the amazing ladies that have spoken beforehand, Sister Catherine, Sister Ruth, you touched on some points that I'm going to touch too as well. But also thank you guys for talking, because a lot of things you said were so inspirational and so educative for all of us as well. So firstly, the importance of loving yourself. Loving yourself, it gives you confidence, it gives you self-worth, it makes you feel positive. When you have love within yourself, it's the same way that you love another human. When you love them, everything they do, you almost adore. They can be snoring and you still adore the way they are. So loving yourself, it just gives you that endorphins, it gives you that confidence, it gives you that happiness, just a positive outlook in life in general. And then it's also important because you're unique. You can't be anybody else. You are you. No one else can be you. No one else could be Epiphania Miranda. No one else could be me, VIP Comfort. No one could be Ruth and Barrett. No one can be you, basically. You're you. And I love this quote that I have in my room. I've got it here that I got in this beauty box for International Women's Day. And it basically says, beauty is by being the best possible version of yourself inside and outside. So sometimes some of us, we focus on, going to the gym and makeup and all these type of things, but beauty comes from within as well. That's being free to be ourselves, is having the confidence within and also external. So it's so important to embrace yourself and remember who you are. So sometimes we wish to be other people. We look at someone and we admire how they are. We look at them and we think, oh my gosh, they've got this, they've got that, this got this. But you need to, number one, believe in your own value. Like Sister Ruth was talking about your self-worth, etc. No one else has that worth the way you do. No one else is like how you are. You have your own talents and experiences different than how other people have, especially experiences in life. For example, one of you could be a domestic abuse survivor. Someone has, been an orphan. Everybody has so many different paths and stories. And you can't wish to be another person, because what you are is what made you. Like Sister Ruth said, you're the author of your own book, the CEO of your life. No one's going to have the same exact experience as you. Yes, we have similarities, but no one is going to be the same as you. Number two, when you're not yourself, you change. You become someone else because you're trying to mold and form into someone that you're not. You change your beliefs, your thoughts, and you become a people pleaser. And I know a lot of us have suffered from that disease where we've chronic people pleaser. Everything we're doing it for others. You need to take care of yourself. You need to make sure that your mental health, everything is your priority. I love this quote that says, always be a first-rate version of yourself instead of a second-rate version of somebody else. We're too busy trying to be what other people want us to be that we lose ourselves in the process. And we end up doing so many other things that even tire us out and stress us for no reason. There's a quote that says, there is nothing stronger than a broken woman who has rebuilt herself. So every obstacle and every struggle that you've had in life, there's nothing stronger than you picking yourself up and not being like, oh, but me, I went through these struggles and this, but continuing to move on and moving on with confidence. There's nothing stronger than someone that has that capabilities to do so. Life is tough, my darling, but so are all of you. So no matter what you have gone through, remember you're tough. And that's why you're here today on this platform celebrating this event, because you're tough. You've overcome all these struggles that you've gone through. Number three, being yourself doesn't mean you're selfish, and it doesn't mean you don't care about others. Sometimes we mistake selflessness with selfishness. It's for one. Even when it comes to even parents, kids, those type of things, prioritize yourself first. Yes, it's important to, put them first because, you brought them into the world, they're your family, etc. But don't lose yourself while trying to please others, because that's the biggest killer. Like I said before, you are your biggest enemy in this world if you don't put yourself first. By putting yourself first, it means you like who you are. You live the life you want regardless of other people's opinions, because, a lot of us, we base our life on other people's opinions, but confidence is contagious. Embrace who you are, love who you are, be who you are. the main important thing it does by being who you are and loving who you are is it shows you respect yourself. It shows you have self-respect. You've got those boundaries. You know, your happiness is your biggest priority, not the happiness of other people. And like Sister Reed said, people always have opinions. You can't control people's thoughts. At the end of the day, judgment comes anywhere you go, no matter what. As long as who you are, that's what matters. Judgments, they'll always be there. People will criticize. You see, I have my makeup here. Some people saying you're beautiful. Someone will say your eyebrow is tall on one side. People always have something to comment. That's the life we live in, where they always have something to say. Sometimes it comes out of jealousy. Sometimes it comes out of insecurity. Like I was telling my mum one time, because when I was at work, I got upset because these people were being mean to me. And they were saying to me, because you're friends with everybody, you talk to everybody. I've been in this workplace for 3 years and I don't talk to everybody. And that's why they hated me, because I'm happy with everybody. And you're thinking, honestly, you can never do something right in this world that will please the whole world. So, number 4, worry is a waste. Confidently take action and move on with your life, because you're wasting time. Time doesn't stop and say, oh, this person's being mean to you. Let you change how you are so that you know, and then time will continue. No, in fact, after seasons are changing, time is even going back and forward. You're losing an hour or gaining an hour. So you can't stop and be thinking, I need to please every single person. Like I said, chronic people pleasers is a disease. Let's not end up getting high BP over it. So don't care about other people's opinions. Remember, being happy, you empower yourself. You have a positive outlook on life, and you can't control what people think. No one can make you feel inferior without your consent. If you're getting high blood pressure because of someone's opinions, it's because you're allowing them to have them. I know that sometimes it can be hard, especially when adults say something, or your parents or something, because obviously they're your parents. But if you're making it tear you down, it's because you've allowed them to tear you down. And that's because you don't have confidence within yourself to say no, or to set that boundary to be like, you can't talk to me like that, or you can't have that opinion on that, or that's not me. Because I can't allow someone to turn around and say to me that I'm not a VIP, because who are you? I'm a VIP, I'm self-proclaimed. No one can make me feel like I'm not, because that's who I am. So I'll stand tall on my chair in my student accommodation, but I'm still a VIP. I don't need to have a castle to prove that, because at this end of the day, it's not about proving anything. You see, a lot of us, what we do is we're not free to be ourselves because we're too busy trying to please, justify, prove things. And we're even wasting time trying to prove it that we can't even achieve what we're doing because we're busy trying to prove it. So don't be worrying and wasting time that's here. Embrace yourself, live your life, and do things that you want to do. There is no limit to what we can do and accomplish. Everything is in your hands. Yes, there's certain things like saying I'm going to be a billionaire by tomorrow that might not be realistic. Doesn't mean it's not possible, but it might not be realistic. But everything you want, you can accomplish. If you want to go back to school at 55 and be a doctor, you can still do it. If you want to make a charity and business, like Sister Epi that started from scratch, you can do it. I know Sister Grace was talking at one event about how she liked baking, so she made a business out of it. Anything you want to do, you can surely accomplish as long as you put your mind to it. Sister Ruth, she was originally a lawyer, she went to do catering, and now look at her business. Basically, we're surrounded by people that have showed us that anything we want, we can accomplish. So let's not lower our grounds and put ourselves in a jar like a fly so that we can't raise above that jar. Let us set our goals, look at places and think, I can do this. I'm not going to limit myself because people don't think I can do this. I'll push myself. Yes, be realistic with it, but don't just stick to stationary standard thoughts that, oh, because you're a woman or because you're a girl or this, you can't do it. If whatever you want to do, take that step of faith. It's important to take that step. Think like a queen. A queen is not afraid to fail. Failure is another stepping stone to greatness. I think sometimes when failure comes around, we always look at ourselves and think, oh, not again, not again, not again, not again. This is always falling through for me. This is doing this. Believe in timing. Timing is important. Sometimes when you want something at that point in time, and then later on in the future, you look back and you think, hey, Lord, you saved me from fire. It was hot there. Because sometimes at that time, sometimes we're even so selfish that we think we deserve something when that something is not even meant for us. Something greater is even meant for us, but we've even succumbed our thoughts and ourselves to this little kind of Coke because we're not even ready for that. So let's not succumb ourselves and, put ourselves compressed. And then another quote I love is, we need to reshape our own perception of how we view ourselves. We have to step up as women and take the lead. Let's not wait for people to do things for us to stand up and be like, oh, I'm now going to take the lead. Reshape your own perception. I know that if I want to achieve greatness, I will. I always say to everybody, I'm going to live in my countryside home with my many bedrooms. I'm going to redo my house. I'm going to do all these things. I'm reshaping that perception. Just because my mum came from a country, she started from where she had only O-levels, no O-levels, and she became where she is. So reshape your perception of life. Where you've been is not where you're going to be. Your past does not define you. Shine, and that's how you'll have a big, rewarding life, when you feel free to be yourself. And then, because I know time is going, I'll quickly finish off on celebrating each other. Celebrating each other does so much to you. Number one, it motivates you. You work together as a team, for a team, and you become better together. And it empowers you. It elevates you to be your best person. If I see someone doing great, it's not a reason to be a competition or for me to feel like, oh my gosh, they're doing better, I need to do this. No. It's like, wow, that's very nice that they even took that step of faith. It's encouraging me to take that step of faith. So don't compare with each other. Don't compete with each other. It doesn't matter if they're older, they're younger. No, nothing like that. Your path is your path. So let's celebrate each other. As women, we're meant to fix each other's crowns. As people, we're meant to stand together, unite together for each other, not against one another. Remember, beauty is by being the best possible version of yourself inside and out. So it's not just about you having the brains and everything. Have that communication, that teamwork, that drive, that loving, caring spirit to motivate one another, stand with each other and educate one another. When you see someone's doing wrong, don't be someone that will knock their crown and rub on the dust. No, stand them up, put their crown on and fix it for them. And that's how we grow as people. The last thing I'd like to share is this, that I love this book. It's the Joyce Meyer Confident Woman Devotional, and it's got daily inspirations that you read. And I think it's just important sometimes. It's literally just a page that you read, but it talks about so many things like believing in your value, like expanding your horizon, and so many things that just shows how much of a confident woman you can be. I'll quickly only read one page because I don't want to take too much time. But there was this one about believing in your value that says, because you are precious in my sight and honored, and because I love you, I will give men in return for you and people in exchange for your life. Fear not, for I am with you. And that's a Bible verse for majority of people that are Christians. See yourself as God sees you, it tells you. And if you can't see yourself being how God sees you or being worthy, then you need to renew your mind. So if you guys aren't confident and you're feeling low in the dumps and you're not embracing yourself or being yourself, you need to change your mindset, because you're deteriorating your own self. You're your own biggest obstacle. You're the CEO of your life. Rewrite your story, and it's never too late to rewrite it. Thank you.
Wow. Who born this girl? It can only be God. Honestly to God, my tongue is just twisted upside down because this girl can talk. And I was trying to catch up with her. And as a mother, I also failed. But that's one thing that I just want to remind everyone is this child was growing up, Comfort. I used to tell her how beautiful she is. I used to say to her, no matter what, Comfy, from a very young age, I called her my beautiful princess. And I used to say, if anyone now, even you grow up, I always joke with her that, watch out when you're going on those lifts, you know, boys might follow you and they'll tell you you're beautiful. Remind them what I told you when you, from the age of 3. I used to say to her, if someone tells you you're beautiful, tell them that my mommy already told me that I'm beautiful. So I'm so grateful that we have got this princess tonight, speaking with confidence, expressing how she feels. And I'm so grateful that I've got this girl, because I know how much she has uprooted me where I was as a mother from African. There are so many things I did not know in this country and did not understand. And I've been dying very slowly in my own ignorance. But I thank God for her. And I hope one day Joshua, my son, will be here, because he's so eagerly waiting. These days he's working Sundays. He's eagerly waiting to come and give his own versions as well. So I'm so grateful, Comfort. Thank you very much. I'm not going to repeat anything, because honestly, those who have ears have heard. Wow, I am excited. Happy International Women's once more again. I love you guys. Thank you so much, Comfort. I'm not wasting much time because we have to say bang. We are going to this classy woman. Oh, I don't want to go back to where I've known this woman because, oh my God, we'll be here all night. This classy woman, I've watched her evolve. I've watched her transform. I've watched her change. Oh my God. And she's one of my inspirer as well. She's one of my empowerment. You know, we always work together and I'm so proud to be her sister. You know, even if you think we are not related, we are, because she has become my sister, whether by default or by truthfulness or by country, whatever you want to name it, because we are women that fight together. I'm so excited to introduce this classy woman, Grace Sapai. If you come on the podium, please. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Reshape. You know, when you do your introductions, you just like wow me, because I'm always like, oh my God, you know, after all this introduction, and when you come on, people be like, okay, is this a girl? Is this a lady? What the hell is she? But I've stopped like questioning what people say about me, because I feel like what we emit is what we get back. So I'm so happy to come to this platform and speak to you guys. And thank you so much for such humbling introduction. And I hope I will maintain that. I hope I'll keep that in mind. And again, that's like a form of empowerment to me as well. Happy International Women's Day, ladies. Happy International Women's Day. Everyone who is on this platform. I don't speak much. I used to talk a lot for Africa, but I've actually challenged that bias. I tend to just drop something and then I let people, because I'm a teacher by profession. However, I've moved on into something else that's now kind of like doesn't allow me to teach and explain a lot. I tend to just give people a few things and then they go and do practice and then I do an assessment later. So I hope I'll give you enough stuff for you to go and do your own analysis, work on it, and then come back with more information or grow with more information, or whatever you do in your lives with the information will be very beneficial to my content as well. So today, my topic is going to be gender equality for a continuous, livable tomorrow. I want you to remember something before I speak. Always keep this in your mind. Time is now. Time is now. Keep that in mind. Just keep that caught. The time is now. So I'll start by describing gender equality in the simplest form. I'm not going to be like very, like speak about big words and all that. Just the simplest form, what it means. What is gender equality? It's basically that it means all genders are free to pursue whatever their career, whatever they want in terms of lifestyle, in terms of choices, in terms of abilities, and without discrimination. That's what it is, very simple. And I'll remain very basic as well, because I'm only going to talk about men and women. I'm not going to evolve and talk about the new terms that are coming. As we know, there's transgender, there's all these that are coming. I'm just going to stick to the basic, which is men and women. And why I was given this topic, I don't know, but I love the topic as well, because as you know, gender equality has become a fundamental human right amongst other human rights that we're chasing as women, that we're chasing, all these rights that we are seeking every single day. Gender equality is one of them. From what I remember, I'm still to be correct me if I'm wrong, gender equality first appeared in Equality Act 2010, and amongst other characteristics in terms of race, sex, age, disability, and then I think it then evolved and it became an Equality Act in 2014 on its own, Gender Equality Act on its own. I tend to relate a lot to Gender Equality Act from a work perspective, because in my nature of work, I tend to deal a lot with gender equality. I push a lot for gender equality as well. And let's talk about society perspective as well. How many times, like from where I come from, Zimbabwe, there's a lot of gender, there's a lot of like stereotype or bias, if you want to call it. That's the new terminology, which is amazing. Bias stereotype that happens between men and women. I know from where I come from, Zimbabwe, we used to know that engineers, doctors, general managers, you know, all these top jobs, they were for men, pilots, you name it. You would never see a pilot, a woman pilot, you never see a woman doctor, you never see a woman engineer. And if you were to say, I'm an engineer as a woman, or if you see a pilot as a woman, everyone would just watch and be like, can she actually take us to where we want to go? We would just underestimate a woman. This is like from a cultural perspective or societal perspective. And I remember one day when my mom first came to the United Kingdom, I went to pick her up from the airport. So, you know, we're talking, like walking to the car. So just before we got to the car, and then I said to my mom, oh, that's my car, you know, pointing at my car. And she was like, hey, when I go now, like in Shona, like, can you actually drive it? Because the car was a 4x4. And in my culture, a woman is like, how can you know, like, I'm talking about God knows how many years ago, maybe 15 years ago, 4x4s, you know, simple things like if you drive a 4x4, it has to be a men's car. Prestigious stuff is for men. If a woman has it, you know, it's just like, what? How did she manage? Even lorry drivers, men are seen as lorry drivers, AG trucks, because everything, you know, like silly things that came from a societal perspective. So, however, having said all that, a lot has been done for us, including the International Women's Day, which has brought a lot of light, which has brought a lot of challenging of bias from the usual stereotype into greater perspective now. So now our aim, or what we need to do as women, is we not need to start pushing for a change. We need to act, we need to push for a better tomorrow. And I know I'm not going to dwell much of what's happened in the past for this to come to today. A lot of history is there and a lot of stuff that has happened, which is so disheartening. I know in some areas or in some countries, women are not seen as human beings. And some countries, children, like girls, they're not sent to school before the boys go to school. So if a family has kids and let's say there's 3 girls and 2 boys, they'll make sure they educate the boys first before the girls have an opportunity, because the girls were not deemed as human beings or as anything that is profitable to the system or to the economy or to the family or to the society. And there's so many things that have happened, especially in Africa and Asian, or, you know, different countries, which I don't really like dwelling much because it's in the past. I feel like we have evolved. Of course, we still need to push because some people are still living in the primitive, but I'm glad we're in that country where we can push bias, we can challenge it, where we can carry on, where we can bring it into practice. Inspiration Women to Action, this EP, you're challenging a bias, because I would want to say where we come from, women could not speak about domestic violence. You were seen as the weakest link, or you'd not even want to come and expose your husband or your man or whoever's abused you. So there's a lot that women are doing slowly. There's a lot. Even I'm a founder of women empowerment. It's like bringing women into surface, empowering women, challenging the bias that, you know, we are also human beings. I'll tell you of this scenario that left me speechless. It was like the silliest things I've ever heard. There was a white man in the room, a black man in the room, a white woman and a black woman. And they were asked, like, forgive me for actually differentiating the races. I just want you to understand the nature of this scenario. So they were asked, someone asked them a question. If you look in the mirror, what do you see? If you look in the mirror, what do you see? I've given you 4 different types, four different people here. And the black man looked in the mirror and he said, I see a man. Okay. A white man looked in the mirror and said, I see a human being. Okay. A white woman looked in the mirror and said, I see a woman. Okay. And then a black woman looks in the mirror, what do you see? I see a Black woman. That alone tells me that. I won't compare what men saw, but between a white woman and a Black woman, there was a difference. The Black woman saw herself as a Black woman. We have to move on from looking at us as Black women. We have to see ourselves as a woman. It doesn't matter what color you are, you have to be a woman. When you look in the mirror, forget about the color. You have to see yourself as a woman. I think some of it, I would like to think those people, obviously, they come from different cultures, but that just made me sad because men looked at them as human beings, as a man. A man to me is a human being according to the Bible and all that. A white guy said, I can see a human being. So why aren't we seeing ourselves as women beings? We need to start looking at ourselves in the mirror and seeing a human being. It doesn't matter what color you are. Just see yourself as a human being. Forget about the color, just see yourself as a human being. So obviously some of this has sort of like affected us as we grow. And look at simple things like superheroes. There's so many male characters. Where are the female characters? Where are the superheroes? What are our daughters learning? They're always going to grow up thinking, Superman. Where are the women's characters? Superheroes. So we need to start challenging that. And I'm talking to people who are in the animation industry, young girls like Kamfi who go to university. Start challenging, start bringing a superhero of a woman. Start doing that because we can do it. We can do it. And in terms of color, we've been brought up to know that color pink is for women, color blue is for boys. If a girl wore a blue dress, people are like, you're wearing a boy's color. That's not right. That's not right. That's not right. We have to start challenging those stupid biases because those stereotypes are everywhere. In schools, food nutrition, or any other sewing is perceived as girls' courses. And boys are narrowed to the sciences. And then what's happening to our future? They develop into these high-paying jobs, and the girls will also go into other jobs. And then our girls are lacking behind. It's because us as parents, we are influencing them to make choices which will affect our future tomorrow. So it starts by us. And hands up to me, like I hold my hand up. My daughter, she's very unique. She said to me one day, as soon as I start working, I want to buy a motorbike. And I'm like, a motorbike? Where have you seen a girl riding a motorbike? Did you hear me? Did you just hear me? Where have you seen a girl riding a motorbike? And she was like, does it matter? I don't care what girls do. I want to ride a motorbike. I'm like, no, you have to buy yourself a car. How can you buy a motorbike? And I'm the parent. Instead of encouraging my own daughter, I'm like thinking, I've not seen, what will people think if Grace's daughter has got a motorbike? I'm thinking of the society. We need to stop it. Hence I said, I raised my hand to that. As parents, there's things that we do unknowingly. And on a reflection, you start thinking, I actually influenced my daughter. I actually stopped my daughter from progressing. And my daughter as well, she's one person who's always wanted blue stuff. She has blue bedding, everything light blue. And I'm always thinking, I bought her a few pink stuff and she'd be like, I don't really like pink. I love blue. Nothing to do with gender or anything, but she's different. She's so different. Sorry, I'm getting a call. Was I? Can you hear me? Is everything okay?
Yes, we can hear you. I was just bleeping you for time's sake.
All time, sorry. Okay. Yeah, so anyway, we just need to start acknowledging what we're doing. We need to start acknowledging the gender. As parents, we need to encourage our children. We also need to do what we can as women, create these platforms, keep encouraging ourselves. And this is for a better tomorrow, because if you look, the climate change, natural disasters, everything, it's not affecting the men only, it's affecting everyone as a society. Imagine if we had so many women soldiers, if we had so many women doctors. And another thing I was going to talk quickly was, this is atrocious. I heard that in the health sector, there's 70% women who are in the healthcare sector. And I'm thinking, healthcare sector only, 70% women. And then you talk into engineering, there's 20% women. So when COVID hit, who was suffering? Women. Whilst the other men are okay in engineering and everything. So we need to start challenging best, because in future, it damages us as women. We are the ones who suffer. So as parents, let's encourage our children. As women, let's step up like what Kanti said. Let's go back and do all those courses that we've always wanted to do. Let's forget about what the society thought. Let's just challenge the bias. I think I'm just going to cut off here. Thank you so much. And I hope you got what I wanted to say. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Grace. I know these speakers, they've got so much to speak about, but you know what? We want to challenge the biases of speaking over time. When it's 10 minutes, it's 10 minutes. So like I said today, I'm challenging the bias, and we have to start with me. Thank you so much, Grace, for that powerful, powerful talk. We really appreciate that. You know, I remember from what you were saying, you know, when I wanted to start radiography, you know, that was 1984, and my mom was saying, oh, you can't do it, it's for rich people, because that was the bias then, and they could just think, you from the village, can you ever be an X-ray person? But I thank God, because when you are determined to do something, it was a marvelous thing for them to come to UK, and I'm taking them to the hospital where I work, and I'm taking them X-rays. Also, the bias of girls. We are 5 girls, and it was a taboo in my family to see 5 girls. It was a challenge. So it's like you were taking all those things. You know, we worried about society quite a lot. And, you know, I know how much my mom went through that bias, you know, and I want to thank God, you know, from what you were saying, I remember challenging Vistaprint, because I ordered something and they wrote me, you know, thank you in other languages that I could not understand. And I wrote to them. I remember telling my sister Anna, and she was laughing. She said, you're always challenging things. And I wrote to them Vistaprint. I said, why can't you put in the tender? Put in my language also, because I want to receive that with joy. So I am so excited. I'm not going to and repeat what Grace has said because of our time. I'm just going to give just 5 minutes to Beth Kamau, just to come up and just speak something very, very quickly. Mama Beth, I'm so particular with time, so please hit the point, because I've got already a hand up, because we've got other people that want to speak, and our time is fast going. Thank you.
Thank you, Epi. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Kathy. Thank you, Grace. Thank you, our daughter VIP. Thank you, Ruth. As usual, you always inspire us. And thank you, Epi and the Iwata ladies, for giving us this platform. I've been listening, and from the beginning, I was amazed. Catherine talking about how this, you know, the women who advocated for something positive, and she described them. And as she talked about them, you can see, yes, we can do it. And then we have Ruth. Oh, Ruth, I love your packing story. We all pack, and we all packers. We have so much we have carried on our backpack. We are still going on. And of course, our VIP girl, oh my God, she is so blessed. You know, no one is responsible for your feelings. You are responsible for your feelings and your emotions. Take care of yourself. And of course, Grace has summarized by telling us it's the women who suffer. I can vouch for that, Grace. I am a nurse by profession, and I've always questioned my training, and a doctor's training is not much difference when you look at the years. Sometimes we even make the diagnosis for them. So why are they paid so much more than me? They just come and write a scribbled thing, and they leave me to read the prescription, do everything, and you find the poor nurse, the 70% nurse, is doing all that. So yeah, today has been quite inspirational. And as you all know, I have the zeal of people who carry emotional trauma. And I'm glad that all of us have been training us do something about it. And I remember on Sunday, I was asked to talk about it. And I looked at, why are we stuck? Why don't we do it? And that's why I looked at mostly the myths that make us do things the way we are. From childhood, we are taught how to acquire things. We were never taught how to, when we lose them, what do we do? And that's why you find we are stuck. Maybe that's why we don't talk. And I remember giving an example of how I struggled when I was going through an emotional roller coaster. I had family issues. I lost a friend, I lost a sister, and I was stuck. And I'm sure many would have loved to know, how did you deal with it? In a nutshell, I can only tell you how I dealt with it. It cannot be described in one session or in 10 minutes. It's something that takes weeks and weeks. But we started by looking at my beliefs. What do I do? What are my assumptions? How have I dealt with things in the past? And I began to understand the habits that I had developed. They were not helping me. The myths, I thought time would help me. I was never taught to say anything when I was going through pain, so I bottled up things. And I had to start challenging those narratives. And when I did that, I started looking. In fact, I came because of the loss of a sister and the family crisis. And I realized actually that was a tip of the iceberg. I had more baggage that I carried in my backpack. We tried to identify the short-term energy relieving behaviors that I carried all along, how I used to deal with things. I would come, sit in a group, not say anything, I pretend, I'm happy, I make you happy. To me, your happiness mattered more than my happiness. But when I started looking how I addressed that, I was able to realize, oh my God, actually, I can do something about it. And then we explored my different losses from when I started knowing what was what to today. And I looked how I dealt with each. And I was able to pick one by one. And that's how I picked my sister's case and dealt with it. And one thing I can tell you was, my sister was a brilliant, beautiful girl. She was a God-fearing woman. But when I was trying to look at the negative, because in a relationship, you look at the positive and the negative, I realized, actually, I need to ask her, why didn't you call me those last minute? I had to say, I really forgive you for not calling me that moment. Why didn't you tell me you are going through problems? So it's actually such a vast subject. I cannot describe it in those few minutes Epi is saying. But when I did that, I was able to actually say, I'm sorry, my sister, I wished I knew you were going through problems. We could have talked about it. And I forgive you for even going away the way you did. I forgive you. I had to forgive her because she was gone, but I had to forgive her. We also explored one by one. Then I took action by looking at each relationship and then completed each relationship. And that's why when we are told here today, we need to do things, we need to learn. How do I do it? One thing I usually say, people who are carrying pain and grief, they are not broken. No, they don't need to be fixed, by the way. They just need to be heard. We need to talk. We need to, like the way we share here, we talk. And I'm glad, Grace, even the way you shared, it's so inspirational to that gender alone that I can think about as a nurse. I need to tell the doctors I forgive them for being paid so much more when I get the peanuts and I'm the one who is dying doing all the work. So I know I usually have a zeal about grief, and maybe one day my sister Kathy will put me in her list of people who talk, because it is a subject that's close to my heart, because I carried baggage and I was able to recover. I'm so sorry I cannot describe it all together today. All I can tell you is one thing. Grief is like a garden that is full of weeds. You've got good vegetables. Our role is to work with you to remove the bad weeds and leave the good vegetables. And once, because we know the garden is there and you just ignore it, just to keep looking at it, what happens? The weeds actually end up choking your the good in you. So it's when you deal with what has hurt you, what has ailed you all along, that you're able to, the good in you comes out. I like Epi, the way she said, I told my daughter Comfy, I usually tell my granddaughter, Psalm 139, you're fearfully and wonderfully created. And that way, Comfy was able to grow up knowing, yes, my mother tells me. Epi, time won't allow me to talk about a lot that I could talk. There's a lot, and I actually can only say I'm sorry, but as usual, if anybody wants to learn more, I usually tell Epi, by the way, if you have heartache that's making you feel stuck, you have a 30 minutes consultation with me, just call me. My number 078-521-21994. We'll go over it, and then from there we can discuss more. There are many personal things that I'm not able to share with everybody, but once you get into my comfort zone, we are able to explore it in details. Thank you, Epi.
Wow, thank you, powerful women. Do you know African women, or women in general, British women, because we have got Kath, we have got Amanda here, we have got Stephanie, I think we have got Libby here, the British Society, you know, who have joined us tonight. We can see that we are powerful together. just listening to even what Beth just said, oh my God, it just gives me those goosebumps to know that we have got much more to learn from each other. We can empower each other, and together we can grow as a healthy community. I cannot emphasize the healthy community together. Oh, those things that are sweet, they come to an end. We are not ending the sessions, but we are coming into another segment where we are just allowing everyone to ask any question, where we can allow everyone to comment something, where we can allow everyone to have an input to all what the speakers have said, even a personal experience. But bear in mind, we want to give each other a chance, because I think everyone would like to say something or to comment something. Let's not repeat things, and let's not go over and over about one thing. Let's just go straight to the point. Let's just explain so that people will continue. It's nice and sweet, short and sweet, so that everybody can enjoy. I had seen Tandeka. I don't know if Tandeka still wants to say something. Your hand was up. Please, if you want to say something, this platform doesn't belong to anyone. It belongs to all of us. So your point is valuable. And I can see Katie Chiwasa all the way from Australia. I believe in Australia, maybe it's 2 a.m. or 3 a.m., but that effort of coming to be on the platform, I greatly appreciate it. And Kate is a radio presenter, I think from Zimbabwe to Australia. So we appreciate even your presence. Please come up and say something or contribute something or challenge anything that was spoken and you think, I'm not gonna love myself because I want my husband to love me first. You can challenge it, and then we can take it up from there. Epiwale Odulami, waiting for your questions. Thank you very much. Tandeka, are you there? I don't know if she's still there. Anyone else? Sorry. Okay. No, I can't see her. Probably she's logged out, but I saw she was with the hand. Anyone with something to, oh, Tandeka, she's there. Tandeka, yeah, I can see you need to unmute yourself. Is it Tandaka? Tandaka. Okay, while we wait for her, because I can see her, but she is muted. Okay, so I'll just open to anyone else, even those who have spoken before, you can still come up with something. So please ask a question. We are here to learn from each other. Say something. Oh, okay, the princess is raising a hand. The princess, you can come up.
Thank you so much for the floor. Are you hearing me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, I just want to add something about the power of speaking out. I believe that there are some situations that we encounter and we end up stressing or straining ourselves without even talking to somebody. It might look like it's a very huge problem, but sometimes because you are the person who is having a concern or a situation, you run out of ideas. But as a woman, when you reach out and when you speak to other people whom you trust, whom you think whom you can confide in, and who are a bit matured, who can not even spread the story, it can help you than just for one person to be holding things inside, or sometimes you can even make decisions that are not good. But when you share with somebody, you might get some ideas, and at the end of the day, you can empower yourself as a woman. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Princess, for that contribution. And if I may just add to what you just said there, we can also encourage you as a woman to have that self-confidence that even if you share your story and people, they take it outside and they start talking about it, that is not your problem anymore, it's their problem. Because if you see another woman laughing at another woman, or another woman sitting down and having coffee at lunchtime with your story, then that person needs deliverance. That's where those prayer warriors, if they are there, we will require you to do your prayers so that they can be delivered, because honestly, they need deliverance. Because we are supposed to fight for one another, fixing each other crowns, without letting even the world know that I have fixed Mrs. B's crown. So we need to fight for each other. Like I think it was Comfort or Grace who mentioned we need to fight for each other, not against each other. So we are here to build each other and become that woman that we are not. I remember reading a quote that said, if women where, if countries were women, it would be all countries not talking to each other. And I thought, why? Because we are always having these silly arguments, and silly, you should have worn blue or you should have worn pink. We have had it tonight. For example, I love blue so much. I'm a blue person. And everything that I do, I always require people to wear blue. For some reason, I love my blue, and my dad was like, his dad was a blue person. So I'm telling you, why challenging someone to say, why blue? Why can't you go white? I don't want white. So we need to challenge those things and just appreciate somebody's unique and support them. I remember even someone saying to me, oh, Epi, you really like to sing other songs more than the Catholic songs. And I remember, in fact, it took me back when I was in Zimbabwe, where I was commended and say, oh, you are not dressed, when you don't have much, and you are not dressed with the right clothes or material. And that discouraged me from singing Catholic songs. And it's only recently when I was challenged by someone and I went back to that scenario, that's when I realized that I was discouraged. And I remember Ruth on this platform once said, do not be that person that makes a person who loves to sing not sing anymore. Do not be that person who have seen someone who wants to dress colorfully and you always say, why are you dressing colorful? That's what they brighten themselves. For me, blue makes me feel very cool and feel very royalty. If I see blue, I feel energized. But see, Ruth was talking about, she sees red and she feels very happy in herself. So everybody, you might have a color that is associated with you. But the most important thing, build your confidence first. For me, honestly to God, I'm not worried about what people say behind me. I always use this quote, and I do apologize for those that might find it offensive, but it's there. A dog barks to the person they know, and a dog barks to the person they don't know. So you are like a dog that you bark anything, We shouldn't be like that. We have to be women that support and carry one another. Thank you very much for the princess for that. I don't know if anyone has got something to add.
I think one thing we forget, Epi, is how strong we are as women. You do not know how strong, and sorry for those who are not Christians, but I always look at stories of people like Esther, people like Delilah, what they could do to somebody else. Esther changed a whole kingdom. Delilah dropped a man dead just because of the femininity. We have strength. We do not have to back, but the strength in you, that gentleness in you, that you being you is so strong that you can. If right now somebody would go somewhere and talk to our brother in another country, we would see the end of war. A woman, we are strong. Just believe. And I love the women who talked today and talked how strong women we are because we have the strength. You don't even have to back, but you can change by just sitting down and refusing to stand when you are told stand up from that chair because you are whatever color. A woman is a strong woman. Never forget that.
Amen.
Wow,
Can I just ask you something, Sister Beth? I don't want to take up too much time, but because you was saying about trauma and stuff like that, I was actually this is sort of like to everybody. And like Epi said, this is very, very, it's a nerve. So if anybody wants to talk, it's whatever. But I was trafficked as a young girl. And I just want to, and I'm also having at the moment rape counselling, because certain things are flashing back, and I believe that it stopped me from being the woman that, you know, God created me to be, really. So I just thought, is there anything, you know, sort of like, I mean, I don't know why I, you know, but it's just come out now. So I'm gonna have rape counselling for the first time tomorrow over the phone. So I was just thinking, it's good that, you know, you've come on. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Amanda. Thank you. And I love this group because we can pour our hearts and talk about it. Yes, Amanda, this is what we discovered when I have done counseling itself. And I realized as a counselor, we used to listen to people talk and they just would go over and over their emotions like hamster going round and round. But when I discovered that you need to actually sit down, deal with what trauma you went through and complete 100% grief over that and finish it. That way you are able to. And I remember telling the group that was there on Sunday, we carry like a backpack or a bomb on our leg. You carrying it and it's a load that really overpowers you. But when you start removing slowly by slowly, removing that pain and hurt, because we've been told today nothing should stop you, but we need to know how do we stop. It can be helped, Amanda. I actually tell people the program that we facilitate, after 8 weeks, unlike counseling, I would even not want to see you again, because I'll have equipped you with tools to use whenever there is pain, because you will have pain. This world, you will have pain. So yeah, I can only say I can't imagine what you've gone through, Amanda. But one thing I'll tell you that I learned, time will not heal. It's when you take time and action. The only thing, I cannot do the action for you. Other counseling people listen, but this one, you do the action yourself. I only guide you. Like I said, it's a garden that I help you weed. We remove the bad weeds until we leave the good vegetables. So just give me I've given you my number. We can carry it on from there. Whenever you have a chance, because it's a vast subject. I would actually take the whole night if I was to go to details.
Oh, I know. Thank you, Amanda.
So yeah. Okay.
Thank you very much, Amanda, for making yourself very vulnerable there. And this is what we do on this platform. We come with real stories. We are not here to nurse and to promote the weeds. We come with real issues so that we can help each other. I used to feel I'm the only one who suffered domestic violence until when I started doing this and I realized many more people have gone through it. I used to think bullying and harassment at work because I am black, until I spoke to Auntie Catherine and she was telling me how she suffered bullying also. And I realized that, okay, so we all suffer these things, but when we don't talk about these things, you just think I am alone and you wallow yourself in pain. I'm not going to waste much time because I've got 2 hands and I've seen Tandeka. Before I call Ruth, please, apologies. Tandeka, are you ready? Because we're calling you. You're muted.
Yeah, I'm here. I don't know, maybe I must have just pressed it by accident, but this is my first time joining in. I've never joined before, but yeah, I do appreciate everything. And it's actually the good thing that women come together and we talk about what we face. And like I said, because it's my first time joining in, so I don't really feel like I should share my story, but one day I will. Once I've actually understood the whole concept of the group.
Thank you very much, Tandeka, for that. We appreciate you, but you know what? I'm so glad you are not a visitor. You know, you are already part of us, and we're gonna have you more and more. And we just love you, and we appreciate you. We appreciate you joining for us again. We are a charity organization that deals with domestic violence, and we held programs every Sunday 4 p.m. Unfortunately, next week we haven't got a session. I do apologize in advance, but we'll come back the other week. So thank you very much, Tandeka, for that.
You're
Keep you
welcome.
posted. I've put my number in the chat box. Anyone that wants to contact me, please, 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 for those, if you are affected by anything tonight, don't go home and wet your pillows. It's high time. We don't want you to have gastritis, high blood pressure, all those things. We don't need them. So we are rejecting those things. I don't want you as well to finish 7 nights doing prayer nights to cut all this generation and hand the witches that are not there. We can deal with it in a proper way. So I'm gonna call Ruth first, then we go to Stephanie. Thank you very much. Thank you, Tandeka.
Thank you. You're welcome.
All right, just a quick one. I mean, I just remembered as we were talking, like what Grace was shared and Beth about even men and women. There's a course I attended with NatWest during the week, and it was shocking as well to see how many women we are being like pressed down, and we cannot back down. And most people are like, oh, I don't feel it's like the right time and all that. So I was sharing this thing about the woman, like most of us here, I believe we are mothers. When it's time to give birth, I've shared before, when with my first baby, I was so young, when the nurses told me, when the waters break, call me. I had no idea what it meant when the waters break. But when it happened, I knew that, okay, this is what the nurse meant. I think this is what she meant when waters break. So I always say, like, you know, what you feel inside as a woman, when I was talking about surrounding yourself with the right people, you don't need anybody to tell you, oh, you cannot do this or you can't do this, or it's only men who are doing this. So people are asking, how do you know? How do you know it's the right time? How do you know? It's the same thing when the waters break. When you have that burning desire inside you that I can do this, regardless of whether there are 20 men or 99% of the people in that organization are men, when you know you can do it, believe in your gut instinct and just say, I can do this. Because when we talk about breaking the bias, we are also talking about stopping that nonsense whereby we should be the ones suffering. We are the ones being affected even during the pandemic, and then when we come home we are still looking after the kids, and then mothers are dying, and then men are just sitting comfortably there. So I just wanted to share that about, you know, knowing when it's the right time. It's not about you listening to your neighbor's voice or listening to your friend's voice, unless you are surrounded by a team that will push you. But the first instinct should come within you to say, I can do this and nobody is going to stop me. I'm not going to back down. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Ruth, for emphasizing that point. Do you know, I myself, I know the Comfort said a little bit snippet about that, just to add what Ruth is saying. When I was back home, I did not have my O levels for reasons, that my father couldn't pay for me when I wanted to write exams, so I didn't do my O levels. But because I had that desire, and you know what, when I applied at Salford University in this country without O level, I remember my sisters, 2 of them laughing at me and say, you are always, very challenging. And I told them that I can do it. And when I went to the interview, they even asked me about the equipment in the hospital. I didn't know them because, I wasn't too sure of myself and everything. But the confidence and the passion and the story, I told them that this passion started in 1984. Do you know it landed me in Salford University? I had never studied physics. I did not know these things, but I started, and first year I failed like no man business. But you know what? Because I was so determined, right now I'm one of the seniors in my department. And if Libby is here, she's one of the chief executives. So my dear, you can. I remember some people come to me and say, oh, my husband did this and left me with 2 children. And I look at them and stare into the eyes and say, even me. And they look at me in panic. I've gone through what you're going through. There is nothing. Don't pick yourself. Rise, pick up your luggage and keep going. You can get there. So sometimes we need that push. I'm not going to waste much time because it's not about me today. It's about women, not women. So I love you and I leave you. I'm going to ask Stefan to speak. After Stefan, we have Katina and then P. Mugwagwa. We just go in that lane.
Hello, everybody. Fantastic talks. I really appreciate that. It is important to empower. What I found though on my journey, counselling is really good and really helpful, but that only deals with your conscious. I just wanted to say to Amanda, thank you. That's very kind of you to share what you've said, and bless your heart. But I found EMDR, which is eye movement desensitization reprocessing, very helpful, because you don't actually have to go over and over and over the traumas that you've been going through. You can just go through with somebody that's pictures, and that is about training your subconscious to look at the positive and feel that you're valuable, you're loved, you're worthy, and that you have a voice. And that I've been doing that recently because of the stuff I've been going through, and it's just made such a huge difference, because my life constantly I've been in and out of counselling and therapy, and I think there's a place for that. But when you beat yourself up and think, well, I've done all that and it's still not working, do look at other avenues and other ways to have healing. Really, that's what it's about, healing, to become what God intended you to be, and that godly woman, because we all deserve to thrive, and we all deserve to be who he wanted us to be. Thank you.
Thank you for that, Stephanie. It's so true. We all deserve happiness. If I look at all the participants here, there is no one who can tell me that they are immune to pain. All of us, we have got one problem or the other. But what we don't want to do is that to lie down on that floor and keep on crying from January to December. You're crying the same problem, the same issue, the same what. No, we are choosing to challenge. We are changing. We are saying no to pain. We are saying no to hurts. We are saying no to self-pity. We are saying no to self-pleasing. It's all about me loving myself, and I cannot give what I do not have. So I have to do something. Let's look at things positively. I could have wallowed in anger and think, oh, I've gone through domestic violence and cry problems every day. But you know what? It did not take me anyway. So we need to challenge the narratives. I can ask Advocate Katina to come on the platform.
Thank you so much, Sister Epi, and thank you to all the speakers. It's been amazing. It's quite early here in New Zealand. It's Monday morning already, but I thought I have to get up for this. So it's been worthwhile. And let me just say to everyone who has spoken so far, yes, yes, and yes. And happy Women's Day, happy Women's Week. Every day we should be happy every day. Happiness is a choice. That's what I just wanted to add, in agreement with everyone who has spoken so far. You're going to get up every morning and look at yourself on the mirror. And this is something that I say every time that I speak. Let me try to put my video on, but it's morning. I haven't washed my face. To say that you're going to look at yourself in the mirror. No matter what anybody has ever said to you, you're going to look at yourself and say, I am beautiful. Because the God who created us, he created you and me in his own image. Genesis 1, verses 26 and 27. Apologies, and if you are not a woman of faith or a man of faith, but now, for me, that's where identity starts from. The moment you own that, you believe it, no matter whether you have one eye, one arm, one leg, no matter what you look like, black, dark, brown, orange, it doesn't matter. You are beautiful in your own ways. Own it, earn it, and nobody can tell you otherwise. So if you are a woman who knows their worth, nobody will ever say kushata. In my language, they say kushata or movie. You are ugly. Hang on. You are contradicting yourself, because the God who created you and me, he says you are beautiful in his own image. So from now on, believe in yourself, ladies. We're gonna believe in ourselves, so that when anybody looks at me, I look at you and I'm just like, this is the devil speaking here right now. I got no time for this. I got no time. Look after you. Live above the restraining circumstances that you are facing in your life, no matter what. You are listening to a woman who has gone through abuse. And when I was listening to Sister Epi, I'm like, Sister Epi, you are the queen. You are the queen. And Amanda, I heard you as well. And I just want to say, this is the beginning of something great. My healing started when I started speaking up. My healing started when I started saying, why am I afraid to talk about what happened to me? Who am I protecting? Because right now my heart is like a shrine. My mind is like a shrine. I'm bearing all these pains, but hang on. God says to me, your pain is going to become your purpose. So listen to me. If you've gone through something, that painful moment you're experiencing right now, believe me right now, is going to become your passion, is going to become your purpose. You can hear me speaking so eloquently right now. I wasn't like this. Is because of the pain that I went through. My ministry and everything that I do, my businesses was birthed from my pain. I ran away from home at 17. Don't worry, I'm not telling my story, but it is from that my purpose, I became the person I am here right now. I'm in New Zealand. How did I even get here? Hang on. I gotta slap myself sometimes. Like, Katina, how did you get here? If you look at your story from before, your mess became your message. Oh yeah, we talk about lemonade from lemons. Yeah, that's it. Let's create some lemonade from those lemons. Okay. And I think I'm just gonna stop here and just say, God bless you all. And it's been amazing. And I'm so glad I woke up today, Sister Epi. Thank you for continuously sending me messages. Even if I don't respond for like weeks, you keep sending. So thank you. And God bless you. And remember, ladies, believe in yourself, love yourself. Don't ever lie to anybody that you love them when you don't love yourself. You're going to love God first for those who are women of faith. Love yourself, and then that love that you have for yourself will flow to others. On this note, Sister Epi, you know I can go on and on. Goodbye. Thank you so much.
Oh my God, these women that have got problems that tend to purpose. I know you can talk. And Katina, we're going to invite you hopefully in about 2 weeks' time. We need you to come and share your story with us. I know it will touch many people. I've listened to it so many times, but I think other people need to hear it. And when I look at you, I'm so amazed. I don't even know how we connected, Katina, but you know what? It's the love of God. So many women, I just look at them and I'm so surprised. So we would love to have you to share your story, and I know and I guarantee it's going to change people's lives. Okay, I'm going to have my P. Mugwagwa, and after that, it's Rewai that is going to be our last, because our time is really gone. I know this is so sweet, but we can always bring it again. If people still wish to say and contribute things, we can always bring it again. It doesn't bother me as long as we are helping each other in raising awareness and supporting each other. P. Mugwagwa, if you can say, please.
Hi, good evening, ladies, and happy Women's Day and happy Women's Week. I am so blessed. I'm so excited. Great women of God. I've had wonderful speeches. Sometimes you don't realize how powerful we are until we are put on a platform like this and you hear amazing words, amazing speeches. You know, I was so blessed by everything that everybody has said. Fix your own crown, because you're beautiful, because you're wonderful, you're fearfully and wonderfully created. God looked at me and saw that I was beautiful, and he was pleased and he smiled. So there's no one that can challenge me. There's no one that can tell me that, you know, I'm not dressed right, or I don't look beautiful, or my hair is like this. By the way, my hair, I'm wearing my natural African hair, and I'm proud as it is. Sometimes I used to do things for other people. Like if I go in work with my natural hair, you know, you would think, oh, people think you can't afford to do your hair like everybody, or you can't afford to wear a wig, or you can't afford to put on human hair. And I came to a point whereby, why should I wear somebody else's hair? 100% human hair is somebody else's hair. It's my choice. I want to wear my 100%. And I feel happy wearing my own hair. Over and above what everybody said, which has really blessed me, like fixing one another's crown. Let's all hold hands, ladies. Now that we've heard this word, let's hold hands and walk with each other. I think over and above us or me being my only downfall, we are also collectively, you know, we contribute to each other's downfall. When one is doing well, we don't celebrate one another. The word has been spoken. Thank you, ladies, for bringing that repeatedly now and again. It has not only preached to me, but it has also been preached to each and every one of us who is here. I have learned a lot. I'll be celebrating each and every one of you. And the other thing that I really hammered me, I used also to think I need to be everywhere and supporting everybody. But sometimes hear somebody echoing the same story, that you don't need to think of yourself first, number one first. Are you comfortable? Are you able to? Do you have the capacity to? And then you reach out to somebody. So thank you very much, ladies. From the first speaker to the last one, I've been so much blessed. The words are comforting and enriching and very educative. You know, most of us from Zim, we were not told to speak out. And as a result, I also suffer, like, you know, in workplaces whereby people think, oh, you're quiet, you don't say. So you are given everything that everybody doesn't like. Until when I started, you know, opening my mouth, then you realize, no, there's nothing like unfairness. You only need to say what you want. Things will be distributed equally. So thank you very much. Thank you, Sister Epi, for this platform. I've so much been encouraged and I've learned a lot. God bless you all.
Thank you, Sister Plucky, for that. Wow, you know, I think we are all learning, and that emphasis that we have given also, we appreciate you. We all learning. I said it in the beginning, I used to even hesitate just to say no, and sometimes wanted to explain and justifying myself. So keeping on challenging those narratives. We appreciate you. Thank you, Sister Plucky. I don't know, Sister Revai, yeah, did you want to say something?
Oh, yes, yeah. Happy Women's Week, ladies. Sorry, I've got a cold, so my voice is not that good, but I just wanted to highlight one thing. Many times as women, we grew up thinking that someone will do something for us. For example, celebrate your birthday. You know how you want to celebrate it. Partner with other ladies, share your ideas, and maybe contribute money little by little and celebrate the way you want. Don't ever wait maybe for your husband to do it for you or anyone to do it. You do what you can and celebrate the way you want. Here in my community, I have had a talk with a lot of men, a lot of women grieving and complaining that their spouses are not recognizing their birthdays. And what did we do? I started creating WhatsApp group and grouping these women in groups of 7 or 10, and then write their birthdays. And then every month we contribute, maybe we agreed £50. And then if you are 10, then you get 450. Then you can go and do what you want with that money. If you want a cake, if you want to go pampering, you can do it yourself. And by so doing, you are also teaching that spouse, maybe the way he grew up, he didn't have to celebrate birthday and they don't know its value. And also, if we have got kids, they see what you are doing. They learn by observing what you are doing. They grew up being confident young lady, confident women. And also for myself, I encourage myself with ladies in the Bible. There are many ladies who had a rough life, but they did not stay on their limitation. They go beyond the limit because they understand and they know God has got a purpose for each and every one. For example, the woman with the issue of blood, there was no way she was going to meet Jesus because they were stopping her because of her bleeding. But she did not allow the limitation on her to stop her. Let's push and do what we need to do and get help, reach out and celebrate the way we want to celebrate ourselves, self-care and self-love. Thank you.
Wow, thank you so much, Rewa. I really appreciate that also contribution. You know, from what Sister Plucky just said, I have got my bouncy and I'm very confident with them and I'm really shining with them. I'm loving it. And I just did it by myself. And coming to Rewa, you know, as you said, you know, one thing that I've learned, I know what I once heard this on this platform when I said, I had stopped worrying what man will buy me for Valentine because he didn't know about these things. Grow up African man. What I do, I buy myself, I treat myself, I buy what I want for myself, and I make myself happy. On his birthday, I was making my sisters laugh. I do birthday for him. What did I do? I took the money, I went with Kathy and some few ladies. We go and celebrate ourselves. Because if you ask them, they don't want it. So why should I suffer? And I make myself happy because I found happiness. And I told him, we are going to enjoy with some ladies out. So we celebrate his birthday by eating ourselves. We eat the food ourselves. And I honestly, to God, Plucky knows this. I buy myself what I want, flowers to celebrate myself, my birthday. I don't wait for someone. So if I receive anything from anyone, it's just a bonus. And you know, the more I started doing that, the more people give me presents. And I love you guys. My birthday is on the 26th of July. Don't count, that is still far away. Start planning. I love you all. I just want to thank you, everybody, for the contribution, for all what you have said tonight. I'm just going to quickly call my speakers again, just to give us last words. I'm going to start with Kat. And after Kat, it comes the Ruth, then Comfy, then Grace. Just give us in brief. We are not going to start preaching, please. We don't want pastors. We just want you to just briefly, recap something and what you want to emphasize to our participants, our viewers. Thank you very much.
Oh, hi. This has been an absolutely awesome platform. It's been so inspiring. And as women, we're just awesome. And just want to emphasize, I focused on people, women who have really made a difference in the world and have changed the world on a big scale. But, we as women on the grassroots can make inroads to actually make change in our own communities, which is what we're already doing. So I just encourage everyone to be an active participant and to take action in their own life against prejudice and exclusion and bias. So I just want to leave it there. I think it's been an awesome platform, and thank you for inviting me to speak. Thank you, Epi. God bless everyone.
Thank you, Sister Catherine.
Ruth. Thank you, Kat. Ruth, you're muted.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Go out there and shine, ladies. Remember, no is a full sentence. You don't owe anybody an explanation. You don't owe anybody an apology. Let your light shine and be unstoppable. Know your self-worth. Make a difference as we continue to break the bias. Have a lovely week. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ruth, for those last words. Comfort.
All I would say is be you, be true. Nobody can do it like you. So remember, don't let your light be dimmed by nobody. This is your story. Make it the best and the top best-selling you can.
Thank you, Comfy. Ruth, Grace.
Yeah, I can always say the time is now. The time is now for everything. The time is now to challenge the bias. The time is now to say no. The time is now to just, I really like what Ruth said before. You can turn any opportunity down if it's not for you. If it's not for you, it's an opportunity. It's not an opportunity. Amen. The time is now. Do whatever you can. The time is now. Thank you.
Thank you.
Wow, thank you very much, my beautiful ladies and gentlemen. I'm not going to repeat what everybody have said because they've said enough. I say that everything that fly has to land, and we are here landing. Please, can you put yourself, first as we are landing and closing, because otherwise some people, they have nauseas. You have learned a lot. If you have not learned, I don't know what we can do, but we can try again and educate one another, because everybody learns in a different way. This is Epi Muranda Odulami, who was hosting you tonight as we are celebrating International Women's Day 2022, challenging the biases. I'm so grateful to our speakers. I'm so grateful to all our contributors, our participants. We appreciate you. I cannot emphasize how grateful I am. As I said, next week we don't have a sessions because we are away for that weekend, but the following weekend, please do not miss, because we are still in the mood of International Women Day. I am so grateful and I'm so thankful for all your participants for joining in, for learning together. And I hope we're going to continue to learn together, and we're going to introduce face-to-face programs that we'll be doing very soon. We have got a place to do it. I know some people, they are far away, you know, like Katina, who is in New Zealand. We wouldn't expect you to come here, but we try to continue to do virtual programs also. This is Epiware Muranda Odulami who was hosting you, and I pray that please, if you are affected by anything that was said tonight, as I always say, please don't go and wallow in pain and anger, and then you are contributing to the illnesses that is already there. We are trying to expel those illnesses. We don't want anymore. We want to unpack the luggage that you have been packing, and you're packing even things that you don't need. And when you get to the airport, you're told you've got excess luggage, and you started throwing things that were supposed to be valuable. So you're going to Africa where it's hot, you're carrying the boots, the jumpers, you don't need all those things. So we have to unpack those things that we are used to be carrying. I want to wish you a very, very, very happy week to come, and please continue to celebrate yourself, celebrate others, and celebrate your community. Last but not least, I would like to wish Amanda Edwards a very, very put in the chat that Tuesday is her birthday, and I wish if she is in Manchester, I could have taken her out and celebrate her. But Amanda, we celebrate you and we love you, and a happy birthday in advance. Every one of you, mark my words, you are all important. If you've got something to share, something to talk about, something to educate us, something that you want people to learn, to challenge the narratives, please do not hesitate to contact me. Don't think that this platform is specifically to certain people. No, these people, it's only that they volunteer and we work together. So if you have got something that you want to speak up, something that you want to share, feel free to contact me and we put you on the platform, and we would really be happy to see you speaking. Once again, I would not like to take much of your time. I want to release you so you can have a blessed week and you can care for your families. Have a good night. Love you all. Good night. Come on, ladies. Come on. Break the biases. Break the biases as you're going out. Break the biases.
I've loved it, Epi.
Oh, thank you.
So it's in 2 weeks now.
Yeah, in 2 weeks now. Thank you.
God bless you. Thank you.
God bless you too. Thank you. I'll send a reminder. Please, if I don't have your number, just send me. I put my number in the chat.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye, Marita.
Thank you.
Bye, Amanda.
Bye. Love you, everybody.
Thank you very much. Love you all. Love you, Esther. Love you, Joylene. Love you, Sidney. Love you, Mrs. B. I was trying to check Mrs. B.
Thank you.
Zare. Sorry?
Is Zarela Payne?
Oh, Zarela Payne. Oh my God. It's your first time to be here.
It is my first time, and Ruth invited me.
Oh my God. Thank you.
But I've met you before.
Oh, really? Because I was trying to figure out, please, if you've got my number, just send me, your number, then I can have your details as well. And Ellen Chimeya, welcome. Thank you for joining in. We appreciate you. Esther, Marita, Siche, thank you so much. Genevieve, you are awesome. Thank you. Amanda, thank you very much. I appreciate you all, guys. We hope to see you again in 2 weeks' time.
Thank you.
Thank you. God bless you. Have a wonderful, wonderful and peaceful night.